Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Matri, and today, after a long time, I will be talking about all the books that I have read in the time that I was away and in the time that I couldn't update you monthly about the books that I was reading. And it is because I just moved to a new college. I am pursuing mass communication, and in all of that, I did not get enough time to record videos. I was moving, traveling, shifting, and there was so much new stuff happening every single day, and I just didn't get the time to sit and talk about the books that I have been reading. But today I have the time, and I am going to talk about all the books that I have read since the last time I updated you all. I have a short list over here. This is my laptop right here with me, and I am going to tell you about each book in brief. And there are like three categories. The first one is the books that I've finished, as simple as that. The second one is the books that I have started but not finished. So there are a lot of books that I just don't continue for some reason. Maybe I took a gap in between and I don't feel like picking it up again. Maybe I lost interest, maybe it was just something else. I'll let you know. And then there is a category which is currently reading. I'm reading two books that I will talk about in that category. So without any further ado, let's get right into the video. So the first book on my list is All In by Emma Scott. This is a part of my favorite duet. This is the second book in the Full Tilt duet by Emma Scott, and I love it to death. I love it so much. So if you have seen my previous videos, you know my love for Full Tilt. I think I have talked about it on this channel, but this is my favorite duology of all time. I love it. The first book is basically badass girl, good boy vibes, and the second book is more about the characters are basically grieving, and I don't know how to explain it without spoiling it, and I am not going to spoil it for you because this is something you need to experience for yourself. But the second book basically has a grumpy guy. It has I hate everyone in the world but you, and it is kind of from both the characters. Like, both the characters hate everyone in the world but each other, and it's not like hate, but it's because they are grieving, therefore they are cut off from all the people, and the only people they can connect with is each other. And it's a beautiful book. You have to read it. I don't know how to explain it, but oh my god, take my word and read the Full Tilt to it. The second book on my list is the book that became one of my favorite books of all time, and that is It Ends With Us. This needs no introduction. It is a masterpiece and I love it so much. The feelings right after finishing this book, I cannot express what I felt right when I finished this book. Oh my god, I was overwhelmed by feelings. I mean, the whole book is emotional on this level. And then you read the author's note and the emotional level goes, I don't even know. It was so much, so good, and oh my god, I connected so much to this book. There are a lot of pages that I have highlighted, underlined. I have written in the books, which I rarely do, but it is because I connected to it so much. It is because it made me feel so much that I love this book so much. Objectively, I do have some complaints with the book, but because it made me feel so much, it is one of my favorite books of all time. The next book on the list is Heartbones by Colleen Hoover, because I was on a Colleen Hoover binge. There are more books by her, but Heartbones is basically a summer read. It is the story of Samson and Bea, who meet on a beach. Bea has been living with her mother all this time. She is not that connected with her father. Her father left them right after she was born. She has been basically taking care of her mother and not the other way around. She has struggled a lot. After her mother dies, she goes to the beach house of her father because she wants to get out of where she lives, and she has nowhere else to go for at least 2 months. So she goes to this summer house, and there she meets Samson, who has a whole lot of history himself, as all the Colleen Hoover characters do. But it is a beautiful book. I did have a lot of complaints, like I literally have a page full of rants in my notes on my phone where I have ranted about everything I didn't like about the story. But even despite all of that, this is a really good read. I gave it 3.75 stars, I guess. The only problem I had was with the characters, because I felt like Bea was very judgmental of rich people. Even Samson, I wasn't the biggest fan of him. He was so closed off. He didn't talk to Bea properly. Like, that is the bare minimum. You can at least hold a conversation properly and respectfully. At some points I felt like he was not doing that, and I felt like the bar was really low. But other than that, it is a good story. It is a good one-time read for me. I cannot read it again because I don't like the characters, but a lot of people do, and reading is subjective, and it's still a good summer romance with depth in it. The next book on this list is The Summer I Turned Pretty, which I am making a separate video for, so wait for it, look out for it. But I watched this show twice. I love it so much. This show is kind of my comfort show. These characters are my comfort characters, so I decided to read the books, and I finished reading the first book. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. I love the representation of teenage love, first love. I love Belly, Conrad, Jeremiah, Steven, Susanna, everyone. And this is a trilogy I am going to cherish forever, I can tell, just like To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Jenny Ann is an author that I feel like if I read her books when I was a teenager, she would have been my absolute favorite. Like, my teenage self would have felt really seen by her, and I would have related a lot. But nevertheless, even right now, I love her writing. I enjoy it. It's very simple, it flows, and I am looking forward to read the second book, that is It's Not Summer Without You. I have actually started reading it. I was going to talk about it in the currently reading category. So that is one book that I'm currently reading, and I am like 3 chapters in. Not much has happened, but yeah, I am enjoying it so far. The last book that I have finished on this list is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. Another masterpiece. I loved it so much. This is basically a story that pulled me in because of its concept, and secondly because Hannah from A Clockwork Reader recommended it. She made a reading vlog of this book, and when I saw her views about it, she recommends it. I trust her choices blindly, so I went for it, I read it, and I loved it as well. Now, talking about the concept, it is basically the story of 2 writers who met when they were in high school or college, and they have a falling out, and then in the decade that they were apart, they write about each other. So they are each other's muse, and they don't know about it. Like, the girl writes about the boy, but the boy is not aware. The boy is writing about the girl, and the girl is not aware. That concept is enough in itself to pull you into the story. It is beautifully written. The representation is chef's kiss. Please read it. It's so good. Highly recommend. Moving on to the next category, that is the books that I didn't finish. Now, as I mentioned, there are a lot of reasons that I don't finish books. I am just a person who is very moody when it comes to reading. So maybe I am in a mood for reading a rom-com right now, but tomorrow I won't be. Tomorrow I will want to read a fantasy. So in that, I sometimes drop books and then I forget to pick them again. So there are a bunch of books like that. The first one is The Love Hypothesis. Now, I was really enjoying this book, and I really thought that this would be like a 4 stars, 5 stars for me. But I read about 30% of this, and then I didn't continue. I don't know. I was reading it in the ebook format, and then I just dropped it. I started reading a paperback, and then I dropped it. I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know why I didn't pick it up again, and I don't know when I am going to pick it up, but I was really enjoying this book. And I don't know what my past self was thinking. I think life happened, and I don't know when I'll pick it up again, but let's hope soon. The next book on this list is Reminders of Him. Now I was almost at the end. I finished like 90% of this book. I think 20 to 30 pages were left, and then I dropped it. I don't know, like I feel like I read so much Colleen Hoover one after the other, and her characters are kind of cliche, kind of cheesy, and I'm not really the biggest fan. I am a fan of her books, but not her characters. So I don't really like Ledger and what's her name? Kenna that much. I am not the biggest fan, and the story had to be about Kenna and DM, her daughter, but it was more about Kenna and Ledger, which is not a problem, but I just didn't really care about it. Yes, there was a suspense in the end, and still I didn't feel like knowing it, what it was. But yeah, I kind of know what happens, but maybe I'll finish it. I feel like for Colleen Hoover, the characters have very similar traits. They are very repetitive, trauma that they have, and like one character is always in the prison, something like that, you know. But yeah, maybe I'll pick it up after taking a break from Colleen Hoover, and I'll finish it later, or I'll just listen to the rest of the book. Who knows? Let's see. The next book is a book that I have been reading from a year. And that is A Court of Thorns and Roses. And I first picked it up last year, and I again picked it up this year. And both the times I didn't finish it. I mean, I know that the series gets better from the second book, but I have to read the first book for it, and for some reason I just can't get through it. I just want to skip it, and I want to read the good parts of it, but my OCD won't allow that. I need to read the first book if I want to read the second book, but I don't know when I'll get to it. I have already picked it up so many times and have not finished it. I don't know if I'm going to continue it. I think I'm 60% in or more, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see. And the last book on this category is a book that is people's favorite. Like, it was the book of 2020, I think, and or 2021, I don't know. Don't hate me, but I DNF'd Red, White and Royal Blue. Why did I do it? I don't know. I just reached the middle point, the halfway through mark, and I felt like, oh my god, I still have half of the book left to go. I felt like it really dragged for me, like, hurry it up. And also another complaint was that Cassie McQuiston's writing is very high level. Like, it is not simple English. It doesn't flow like Jenny Han's books does, and I prefer that kind of writing more, where I don't have to use my brain that much, in a way that in this book there was a lot of political topics, and I had no idea about it. I didn't know how all of that works, and a lot of times I was compelled to Google about things and processes, and I didn't want to do that. I just wanted a good story, a good queer romance, and I get that the author gave a depth to it, which is a good thing, but I just wish it was a little simpler to understand, and I wish that it flowed more efficiently so that I didn't get so many halts and pauses in reading it. But whatever I have read half the book, and it is amazing, and I thought that it would be a 4 stars at least, but I just dropped it, and I don't feel like picking it up anymore. So I don't know, maybe I'll pick it up. It's a mystery for you and me as well. Let's see. And last but not the least, there are 2 books that I'm currently reading. One I already told you about, It's Not Summer Without You, and the second one is People We Meet on Vacation. I have just begun reading it today itself. I was reading it in class, so much fun, but this is basically my second Emily Henry book, and I am a huge fan of her writing. I love Emily Henry, and so far this book is really good, and it's friends to lovers. They are best friends, and I already like Poppy and Alex. He was reading a book in a bar, like green flag. But yeah, I am so looking forward to reading this one. I'm so excited for both the books that I'm reading, and it's such a good thing. Also, one more book that I am reading right now is Divergent. I don't know why I put it in the finished category. I still have like 1 to 2 hours of it to go, but I started reading Divergent. I don't know what I feel about it. Like it's good. It's not average, it's not bad, but it's also not extremely phenomenal. I have really liked the first book. I like the characters, I like Tris, I like Four, and I think I will continue reading the series. I will take a break definitely, but I am sure that I will complete the series. What do you think about it? I have heard so many mixed reviews about Divergent. Have you read it? What do you think about it? Let me know. I would love to know. But yeah, that is all the books that I have read, not read, currently reading. And you tell me about yours. What are you reading? How many books have you read this year? Do you like them? Do you not like them? I would love to know everything. And I will see you soon with another video. Until then, take care, stay safe, keep reading, and lots of love.